Okay, so this one was thrown out, and I was like, this is a pretty good idea. I can have two different generations of Intercontinental Champions. And I'm like, this is actually a pretty unique and interesting dynamic here. Something that I'm not entirely used to running in these sort of fights. But I will throw this in too. I will actually be doing my first event versus event, because All In was amazing. So my plan is to do the one for All In probably around the 16th, so it is September 2nd right now, so it gives you 2 weeks. Would you prefer All In versus WrestleMania 2018, or All In versus SummerSlam 2018? Leave your comment below. So we'll get Razor Ramon into The Miz. Yes, so we have Mike Mizanin on one side, on the other side we have Razor Ramon, not Scott Hall. So we're looking at him during his WWF run. And The Miz during his only WWF, because he didn't do anything else. And of course we go through the basic criteria that I've got here. And as always, if it ends up being, I think with this I've got 11 criteria, so if it's 6 to 5 person with 6, more than likely would win. And again, this is looking from a professional wrestling standpoint. That's why you have the physical acclimate, the in-ring, and then you have effectively the overall character work. Get right into this. Strength. I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with strength going to Razor Ramon. You're looking at Razor, 6'5". He was normally about the mid-200s, mid-upper 200s. Big dude, beefy dude. He's still in pretty good shape now. They said DDP. Why? Because I can't call it yoga anymore. At the end of The Miz at 6'2", normally about the low 200s. Not really known for being a strength guy. So, makes sense that the strength advantage definitely go to Razor Ramon. I'm going to give speed to The Miz. Just because of the smaller side, he is a little bit quicker. And you remember during Razor Ramon's time, during sort of in the new generation, this would have been around the Bret Hart time. Yeah, on OSW, he recently had his feud with the Hitman. And Razor, when he took on smaller guys, it was always that he's this big hulking colossus taking on smaller guys. And he always had that issue, whether it was a 1-2-3 Kid, or it was Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels in a lot of ways. And the guys who were significantly smaller than he always had some sort of, light issue, just because that was the way that it was always built. Endurance. Yeah, Razor Ramon, he wrestled a tremendous amount of matches, a highly physical style. He just did a lot. Toughness. I'm giving it to Razor Ramon because go back and watch that first ladder match. Razor Ramon was known for putting his body into a lot of pretty heavy hitting situations. Miz, not as much. Miz is very good at avoiding taking heavy amounts of abuse and punishment. That's why he hasn't had a major injury throughout his entire career. So, from a physical acclimate, definitely Razor's got this. Now, of course, we're going to go into in-ring ability. I went back and forth with striking because The Miz, he does have the it kicks. He does have his corner clothesline, as well as the typical punches and kicks. Where Razor, during that time, he threw punches and kicks, but his punches were highly, highly devastating. I still loved when he threw that punch, similar to The Rock did, where he slaps his thigh. So he connects, but he's a thigh slap. And it's the way he threw his punches just always looked undeniably devastating. Grappling. This is how well are you when it comes to suplexes, slams. Given this one, of course, Razor Ramon. Of course, you got the finisher, the Razor's Edge, Crucifix Powerbomb, depending on who was doing it. Something called the Crucifix Driver, which we now know is a different move. Razor's Edge, fantastic move. Loved seeing him hit it. Takes a lot of work from the other guy, because to get them up is one thing, but that extension, that's tough. That's really tough. When I met him for the Razor Jade the Snake Robert, the buddy of mine was like, "You want to Razor's Edge?" And he's like, "Man, I can't get you up." And he goes, "Well, if I stand on the couch." He was like, they could probably prop him on a couch to get that position up, but just that, and he had a great fall-away slam. I'm almost thinking Razor Ramon or even Scott Hall versus JBL would be a pretty interesting one too. So submissions. Miz actually has utilized submissions to try to get victories. He does have the figure four. He did Kawaba, the yes lock for a little bit, but wasn't very good at it. And for Razor Ramon at that time, he didn't really use submissions. The one he had was the abdominal stretch, was the move that he used more often. High flying. Always sounds weird to give The Miz points in high flying. But he actually has been known to leave his feet. To actually do some moves, whether it is his Brett's rope double axe handle. Razor, not as much, because he didn't need to. He was a tall dude. Over with the crowd. I know these last three are probably going to get the most amount of bits and pieces. I will give Over with the crowd with The Miz. I think it's probably because Razor Ramon, again, WWE platform, was popular. He didn't really come into his own until he had Scott Hall, the outsider. That's when he really got to be himself. And that's when he got tremendously over. I think if you look at where The Miz is now, yeah. The Miz has taken his game to a whole nother level. Ring psychology. I went back and forth with this one. If you watch Razor Ramon's matches with someone like the 1-2-3 Kid, he did a good job in selling some of the shocked offense. He had a match where the guy who was taking on kind of sandbagged the Razor's edge. So he picks him up and he just waffles him in the face and then goes for it again. So he had a decent amount of in-ring charisma. But The Miz, having an acting background, actually does a great job pulling you in. He has figured out how to look at the camera and have shock, awe, surprise. They have that, oh, I've got him. 1, 2. What? He's just really, really finely honed some of the minutia, which really wasn't quite there during the New Generation era. That's because, after you go from the 80s where it was just really larger-than-life guys and the crowd just white hot for everything, and you could do a punch and a kick and then a leg drop and finish a match. Trying to go to the smaller guys, trying to do more, trying to get some more of the psychology into it, but it was that non-clean break from large dudes doing large dude spots to trying to get smaller guys who were more athletic and getting the crowd attuned to it. I think now the crowd has kind of embraced a smaller, lighter athlete and a little bit different style in mic work. Again, this is the Razor Ramon version of Scott Hall, not outsider Scott Hall. He had some good mic work. He worked well when it came to the character. He did fantastic promos. But even Daniel Bryan has said that The Miz has taken his character to a whole nother level. If these two guys were to lock up, if we were to open up the Wayback Machine, I'll be honest, I think Razor is going to beat Miz pillar to post, and that's what Miz does best. Miz takes a fantastic beating. But I think Miz is also very good at squeaking out a victory. He has that fantastic way of being the heel you know that you can beat, so you get kind of cocky and overconfident, and you make that one little mistake, and then he sneaky heels and gets the victory. And of course, Miz knows how to get people to want to put down their hard-earned money to see him get punched in the face. And don't forget, in 2 weeks, my plan is to do All-In first WWE event. You can choose WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Who knows, if it gets enough play and it seems to work pretty well, I might do a double header. I don't know.